40 years ago, 1979, Denzel and I.
Quite a while back, 1979, Denzel and I were in a Joseph Pat creation. Regardless of whether you're the most envious individual on earth, you need to respect the fellowship between Denzel Washington and Morgan Freeman. It has endured many years, and they pay special attention to one another like siblings. So it's not peculiar seeing Denzel standing out his neck for Freeman. Simply pay attention to Denzel paying special attention to his dear companion. So I went up to Morgan, and I said, "You realize I think perhaps I might you at any point, no wound you and cut." And so Morgan took a gander at me. He realizes him. Too well doesn't he? And that is the reason he has strongly contradicted those going after Freeman, following the new passing of her cherished granddaughter, elegant person. He doesn't need to stress over it. Yet that grin was diminished, everlastingly cops, say by her live-in sweetheart, who cut her to death. It's astonishing the way in which Denzel regards Freeman, and subsequently as the symbol he admires, it is just correct that he cautions him of any detours that could influence Freeman or individuals around him. Family included, Denzel accepts those approaching after his companion are involving this shocking occurrence as cover. However, truly, they are stressed over Freeman's steady disclosures about the clouded side of Hollywood, yet priorities straight what truly happened to Freeman's grandkid. A lawyer for the one who supposedly killed Morgan Freeman's step-granddaughter Adina, Hines purportedly guaranteed in court that Hines told her thought executioner she and Freeman had an unseemly relationship. Had an allegation both Freeman and Hines had beforehand energetically excused it, just proceeds to show one thing: somebody extremely strong is after Freeman and his companion. Denzel is cautioning him to remain ready and distrust everybody around him in an explanation in 2012 Freeman, expressed by TMZ. The new reports of any forthcoming marriage or close connection of me to anybody are slanderous creations from the newspaper media intended to sell papers is much seriously disturbing that these creations are presently being gotten by the genuine press. To the late Hines agreed in her own proclamation per TMZ. These tales about me and my granddad are not just false, they are likewise frightful to all of us. She said the man accused of killing Hines was recognized as Lamar Davenport. The charge by Davenport's protection that Freeman was engaged with his grandkid had all the earmarks of being whenever the challenged guarantee first had been made beyond the tattle press. Davenport's lawyer didn't intricate or further claim when this connection transport happened the suspect was accused of second-degree murder. After specialists say he cut Hines in excess of multiple times outside their Washington Levels loft on August 16, 2015. She was tracked down lying in the road outside her home at 3:00 a.m. Also, was taken to a neighborhood clinic where she was articulated dead. Hines' grandma is Freeman's most memorable spouse, and Hines' mom was Freeman's stepdaughter. Until he embraced her, she went to an alumni acting system at New York College from 2008 to 2011, and featured in Arriving Up, which debuted in 2017. While examiners contended the killing was purposeful, Davenport's protection guaranteed both he and Hines were high at that point, and that Davenport was in a medication-prompted psychosis and not liable for his activities. And very much like the remainder of the world, Freeman's most memorable safeguard is Denzel, a dear companion and partner of numerous years. Your hands off me, grave dick god, damn it, the entire world got a stump right in front of you. Better get your hands off me around here. You hear me? Freeman's profession began during a period in the U.S. when the murkiness code was set up. The strategy confined the sort of satisfied significant film studios could show, remembering prohibiting interracial sentiment for screen as per NPR. It went on for just about a long time, from 1934 until 1968, since his initial acting years, which comprised of theater work and a job on the kids' show The Electric Organization motion pictures, were affected by the code and its repercussions. And it was only after Freeman was 52 that he began getting more aggressive jobs in the wake of winning a Brilliant Globe and an Oscar selection for Driving Miss Daisy in 1989. When he was 52, Freeman proceeded to star in more than 100 movies, including The Shay Knife Recovery, $1 Million Child, and Bruce All Powerful. And it is during this period the two entertainers, Denzel and Freeman, struck a dependable kinship, for the most part injured together by their need to represent the less powerful in Hollywood, and furthermore uncover the decay from inside something that has landed both honor-winning entertainers in a tough situation on his part. Denzel has additionally been effective, to the point that Freeman even kidded that he is desirous of Denzel's vocation. Yet despite the fact that Freeman communicated his jealousy of Denzel, he recognized the generational advancement of dark entertainers in Hollywood. Representing dark entertainers has forever been his call, and proceeds to, in spite of the multitude of fights, he is looking unrude. When I was growing up, there was no me in the motion pictures. Freeman expressed assuming there was an individual of color in a film he was amusing until Sidney Poore came and gave youngsters like me that yes, I can do that. And I talked with Sidney way back. He said I needed to resemble you. He added generationally, however, I, in all actuality, do believe we're pushing forward quickly. I was the lead. Denzel was a face prop with respect to Denzel, his co-star, in the 1989 film Greatness. Freeman has forever been strong. When Denzel got the 47th AFI Life Accomplishment Grant in 2019, Freeman went to the service and gave high recognition for how an individual veteran and entertainer had the option to associate with watchers while acting, addressing Access Hollywood on honorary pathway. He said he's connecting with you. That is something that makes him uncommon. Freeman added, generally acclaimed as one of the most notorious stars of Hollywood, Freeman shares a significant love for acting and the universe of film. As a matter of fact, in one of his meetings, the Hollywood legend communicated his steady devotion to his art in any event, admitting that he wouldn't see any problems with dying while at the same time performing. Yet it appears to be certain individuals despise watching him being a star, while Freeman's distinguished lifetime traverses both film and the stage. The praised entertainer at first transformed venue, a typical beginning stage for the vast majority hopeful entertainers. Anyway, dissimilar to numerous different entertainers, he once conceded that he favored motion pictures over the stage, being severely genuine about why he won't ever gone to any reside stage from now on. Freeman uncovered what compels him, like the cinema, more than the stage. Pondering his initial days, the veteran entertainer described his cutting-edge job in a Broadway playback in 1967. Anyway, it was the cinema that held a definitive charm for him, as he sought after his actual yearning of turning into a film entertainer. He told the New York Times, "I truly burned through 20 years in the theater, attempting to get into the motion pictures from youth. That is what I needed to do for the most part. I would rather not do it in front of an audience. It's a lot of work. Films you accomplish a little work rake in boatloads of cash and continue on. I like that. And I appreciate working in TV programs." He said it's a task all day, 5 days, 7 days. Obviously, the London has fallen entertainers' inclination for film over performance center emerges from the differentiating requests of every medium, while stage creations request broad physical and mental effort. Because of the live idea of exhibitions, Freeman features the somewhat more sensible responsibility and monetary prizes that accompany acting in films. It is such information he imparts to individual entertainers that continues to give him issues with the Hollywood tip top. Freeman's determined quest for his cinema dreams ultimately paid off as he handled his advanced job in the widely praised film The Shay Knife Reclamation. Starting thereon, he left on a surprising, realistic excursion, dazzling crowds across the globe with his extraordinary ability and strong on-screen presence. Anyway, he once wound up pondering the possible disadvantages of exclusively being perceived as a film entertainer, perceiving the gamble of becoming type-projected. Freeman Recognize the significance of flexibility and the need to break liberated from apparent limits. It is another eye-opener to dark entertainers that didn't especially agree with industry supports. While discussing these restrictions, Freeman expressed before in your profession, you're more chameleon-likey. No one knows you can shapeshift and pull it off yet sooner or later. And this is the entire thing inevitably. It doesn't go over you get confined the film, uncovering that investigating his ability is the main justification for why he would consent to perform on a live stage. Again, the blankness entertainer went on, there's a limited number of characters who are like that before you begin rehashing the same thing relentlessly. I believe that is the greater risk than being Mr. Gravidas. You take a gander at your last work and say that is 4 characters in succession that said did thought acted a similar, they will find me out any moment, currently well whether on the stage or the cinema. Freeman's devotion radiates through engaging and hypnotizing his crowds with his wonderful ability and getting through adoration for his picked work of art that is a widespread understanding, with the exception of the rare sorts of people who